So hey everybody, this is Stephanie from Coaching Horizon International Radio, and today I'm interviewing Tahi Spinks from New Zealand, who is an amazing mindset coach, also a fellow NLP practitioner. So Tahi, can you tell us your story and about what you do?
Yeah, I'd love to, and thank you for having me on here, Stephanie. It's an absolute honour to share this space with you once more. I got into mindset coaching, I guess, when my life changed through COVID, as for most people. Heading into COVID, me and my previous partner, I think we lost a baby about 3 weeks before the first COVID lockdown. So we're still dealing with that loss and that grief that was, still quite raw for us. And then all this, uncertainty in the world hit, and I was running my own electrical business at the time. I had 14 staff. With their families, I was about 48 people, I think I worked it out to, that were relying on me to keep the business afloat through that time, and trying to answer questions that no one really had the answers to, about how long lockdown would last, and how are we going to get paid? Are we going to get paid? All of those things that everyone was in fear about. So I guess through supporting my family through the grief of losing baby, and then supporting my staff through the uncertainty of COVID, led me into quite a dark place within myself. I tried to do the normal man thing and carry everyone through it, and I can do this, and put on a brave face. But when the world got quiet a few weeks into the lockdown, and I had to really sit with myself and my own thoughts, I realized where I was at, and luckily for me, I plucked up the courage to reach out for support, and just so happened the first person I reached out to was able to help me, and so I started working with her and her husband, coaching me, and it changed my life so profoundly that I knew I needed to share it with more people. I went from working 80, 90 hours a week down to less than 10 within the first year, less than 10 hours a week. Now my company runs autonomously, and allows me the time to step into this and grow a coaching business and really impact people's lives and change lives. And my electrical business was already at 7 figures, and it rather than decreasing like I thought it would, it actually increased over that period of pulling back and letting go of some of the control, and empowering my staff to do the job that they trained for, and what they were really good at.
Awesome. What impact has your journey have on the work that you do currently now?
So I think just the authenticity of having walked that path, having lived that life, so many experiences in my life. Have a child with Down syndrome, have another child with other behavioural difficulties, having lost baby, having run a business, been a solo dad for a period of that, and many other things culturally as well here in New Zealand, where, as a Māori, being our First Nations people here, there was a lot of beliefs around whether I fitted into the business world, and I looked different, I dressed different, I talked different to a lot of the successful business people I knew. So there was a lot of lack of belief around whether I fitted in, and whether I was even a business person. So that journey to overcome all of that, and also the fact I was brought up in a working class family where success was sort of seen as how many hours you worked and how hard the job was, rather than how easy you could make the job and how profitable it was. So having to overcome a lot of those things on the way has helped me relate to so many people and so many so many different walks of life. And once you get that relatability and build that trust, you're able to proceed forward, as I'm sure you're well aware in the coaching space.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And for those who don't know, what is mindset?
So to me, mindset, I guess a lot of people have it as like a logical, conscious mind shift and learning ways to deal with things consciously. To me, it's about reprogramming the subconscious mind and the conscious mind simultaneously, which is what I found has the longest term effects. As I found, I did some subconscious type work, some healing work, but when the conscious mind was fighting that all the way, it would win because it was stronger, it was louder, and I'd trained it so much better for so long. And same thing when I tried to shift the conscious mind, the subconscious being more than 95% of our mind and operating more than 95% of the time would overpower the conscious work, and it would always win because, I think I started my journey I was almost 40. So, I've been training it for 40 years and I had to work really hard to retrain it. So, yeah, to me, mindset is around overcoming those limiting beliefs that are holding us back and working on them, on both levels or on every level, really, to just free the mind, make life easy, not get caught up in those small, I guess you call them road bumps, speed bumps along the way that can actually throw you off track. And if you see a little speed bump as a wall, or if you create it into a wall, it will stop you. So, yeah, having the tools to overcome those as soon as those little speed bumps arise before they grow into barriers that we can't see a way past.
Thank you. And what are the benefits of having a positive mindset?
I think having a growth mindset and having that positive mindset, or not necessarily, I tend to stay away from the words positive mindset. It's because it's almost like you get into that, I'm trying to think of the word, that mindset that everything's good, everything's great. Pollyanna syndrome, where you get into that world where everything's good, and when the negative is there, you're ignoring it. So I believe it's having that balance where you notice the negative voice and you have the tools to overcome it and go, what is it trying to tell me? What's the gift in that negative voice or those negative feelings? It's trying to tell me something here that I can actually learn to let go of, some attachment to a past memory that I'm being prompted here to let go of and overcome, so I can really move forward again. And therefore, I believe having the tools to notice the negative and shift back to the truth. I like to think of it as the truth rather than a positive mindset, always shifting back to the truth, which is always true. There is always infinite abundance available to all of us. There is the same amount of time available to all of us in every single day. So all of those things are always true. And it's the way we can overcome those beliefs that are ingrained in us and how quickly we can move past them that keeps us moving forward at a great rate to in this coaching space to help more people, to reach more people, help more people, and free more people from the matrix.
Yeah, thank you. So why do you feel it's important for others to have a mindset coach?
I believe that if you want to be successful in life, you should have a coach in every area of your life. I wouldn't put my child into a rugby team or a football team or a gridiron team, whatever your local sport is, basketball team. I wouldn't put them into a team if it didn't have a coach. None of us would take on a sport without a coach. Yet we try and do this thing called life. We try and do this thing called business without a coach and going off the advice of our family members, which is, or people around us, which we only ever get their opinion of what worked for them because they have a really deep emotional attachment to it, whether it's because they love you or because you're in a similar business to them or whatever it is, if they've tried something and been burnt, then they're going to tell you not to try that, and that might be the right thing that worked for so many others. So I think it's important to find someone who is where you want to be and work with them to get there. And for the past 4 years, I've never had any period where I don't have a coach, and always shifting to, well, what's the next thing I need to learn? What's the next thing I need to get better at to be more successful? And who is that person that's there? So shifting constantly. I've worked with quite a few coaches, and at the moment I have 4 of them that I tap into on a regular basis. I believe it's the key to success.
It helps people stay accountable for what they want to focus on too.
Yeah, definitely. And seeing those blind spots that because of your emotional attachment to what you're trying to achieve that you won't see for yourself. And I think the key moment for me was when I found out that, Richard Branson still works with 5 or 6 coaches. Oprah at the height of her career had 7 coaches, because they had coaches in every area of their life to make sure that every part of them was good. And so when you looked at who's successful and what they're doing, those are some of the most successful people I can think of, that they make sure that their mind, their body, their spirit, their soul is all aligned to the mission they're on, and doing my best to emulate them on a lower budget than theirs right now.
Yeah. True. So can you tell us about your program?
Yes, I have 2 programs. My main program is around really deep mindset work, overcoming childhood trauma, really reprogramming the subconscious mind, changing your full perspective on the world, your worldview that isn't true, and bringing you back to the truth that, like I said before, is always true. And what I mean by that is when all of those events happened in our childhood, we decided things about ourselves, others in the world, and we developed attitudes, roles, and behaviors off of those decisions from the events that happened. And these things were great because they kept us safe as a child, because we had no responsibilities. We could play the victim and mum would come give us a hug or give us a ice cream or a lolly or whatever it is we were trying to get. We try and do that in the real world. We get left there crying and being the victim. We don't have someone come and give us $1,000 to get us out of the financial stress we're in, or doesn't deliver a truckload of groceries if we're going hungry. And so once we have responsibilities in life, our biggest responsibility is take ownership of our belief system and really shift that, change that, and allow ourselves to become a better version of ourselves if we want to achieve in every area of our life. I don't think I actually answered the question fully. So that's a 12-week program where we go through a complete reframe of the mind. We have a process we use right throughout, and with guided audios, meditations. We add a few more tools in as we go along. There's some NLP in there, some timeline therapy, and it's a full 12-week program that's in an online portal, supported by 2 group calls a week plus 4 one-on-one coaching sessions throughout the program. And then my other program's more built around business growth, so it operates over 16 weeks, and we get really clear on the vision up front, whereas the other one, we do it later. We do what I like to call manifesting the life we desire. So getting clear on that and energetically, consciously creating our life. And we do it on a similar level in the business growth, but we start with the vision and then we reverse engineer it. And it's a more logical step-by-step process for those that are already got a pretty solid mindset, but they want to get their business up and running easily. Yeah.
They go in hand, very much so.
Yeah, definitely.
One can't live without the other. So I agree. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. But, Tahi, there, I think one of us froze. Are you back?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Yes. Sorry, I think the internet. I'm sorry about that.
All good.
What does a typical coaching session look like with you?
So for me, it's around, depending whether I'm working in a group situation or one-on-one, a lot of it is around getting questions of the content, because we have some quite in-depth trainings in our main program, and just seeing what resonated for people, what came up for them, because we build on our tools week by week, what come up for them new, and then helping them dive into that belief. And if there's a roadblock there, I'll always guide them to a place where they realize that everyone feels like it's someone in the past they're letting down. It may be their mother, their father, their brother, their sister, whoever they had an experience with, that they created a belief around. So if I can get them to a place where they realize it's themselves they're worried about letting down, or there's themselves that they're disappointing, that's my ultimate goal in any session, is to dive deep enough to a deep enough level where they can see that it's only themselves they're worried about letting down, so they can take ownership over it. Because once we realize that everything we're creating is within ourselves, because you can say whatever you like to me, Stephanie, and I can choose whether to create an emotion around that or not, whether it's a happy emotion, whether it's a sad emotion, whether I get upset about it. I'm the only one that creates that emotion. So once we can see where we have full ownership over how we're feeling, and then just find what's triggering it and be able to release that, whether that comes out in the form of tears or anger or, sadness, sorry, whatever that emotion is that's still trapped in the body, keeping it stuck there because we were taught to suppress our emotions, helping overcome that emotion and actually clear that belief and keep moving forward is the ultimate goal of any session. And I think by only asking questions and guiding people to their own answers, they take a lot of power at the end of the program when they realize everything that they've achieved is their own creation. And I didn't do anything. I just asked them the questions that they weren't asking themselves.
Thank you. Can you describe a time when your coaching led significant growth in one of your clients?
Oh, I've had so many. Recently, I've had 3 or 4 clients that were in a really dark place of suicidal ideation, and being able to bring them out of that within 2 weeks and have them really clear on their path again and striving towards a future, whether it's because there was something they were holding on to that they hadn't realized that they could choose to let go of, or something that they wanted that they hadn't realized they could choose to go for, is quite a big change for them. And I've had clients that I've taken out of, being stuck in a relationship to leaving that relationship, growing out of that relationship on their own, and getting their business back up and running by clearing that mind, so that what was taking them 8 to 10, 12 hours to do only took them 1 to 2, because they weren't sitting there procrastinating, overthinking, worrying about getting it wrong, and just being able to have that clarity to really strive forward really fast, I think is the most, the speed of change, I think, is the most successful part of any of my clients, and what I'm most proud of. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you. What challenges have you faced as a coach?
I guess like any coach, it's such a flooded industry right now, and there's various levels of coaches, and some are better at marketing than coaching, some are better at coaching than marketing. So just keeping that consistent flow of clients is always the biggest challenge as a coach. I know once I get in the room with someone, in a Zoom room with someone, I can change their life. I have no doubt about that. I can make their life better. So for me, that's not the challenge. It's just keeping that consistency of new people coming in. I guess because of the change and the transformation that I'm able to get, the lifetime value of a client is shorter because they don't need to stick around for a year. So continuously having new people come in, I think is the big thing. And if I get to a point where I don't have any clients because no one needs me, that would be a great place to be in. But knowing there's people out there that need me and that it's my job to find them, that keeps me driving forward to make sure that happens. Yeah.
And what do you wish you had known when you were first starting out?
That's a really good question. And to be honest, I feel like if I knew anything more than what I did when I started out, I wouldn't have learnt the lessons as deeply as I have along the way. Because if it was a lot easier to get going, I wouldn't have appreciated the journey as much, and I wouldn't have the same experience to reflect on and help others with. So I would say nothing, because for that reason, the easy path sounds great, but the learning that comes and the growth that comes with doing it, the only way there is, I guess, is to learn and grow and to persist. The resilience that you build up, the multiple barriers and the multiple deep dives that I've done on myself. And I'm lucky that the tool I teach is a tool that you can use on yourself 3, 4, 5 times a day to quickly overcome these emotions. And having that at my disposal along the way, I'm glad I had that. So if there's one thing I'm glad I had at the start, it was that tool that kept me moving forward. Yeah.
Thank you. And what accomplishments do you feel have you had since you have been a mindset coach?
I'd say the biggest one is my family. I always come back to my family because I'm a family man first and foremost. So being more present with them, being able to hear them without, being able to listen to understand rather than listening to respond, not reacting, retaliating, being able to take that time to hear and really hear what's underneath what they're saying sometimes, hearing what's behind the words, especially with, like I said, I've got a son with behavioural issues, and he can really go off and say some nasty things, and realising that has nothing to do with me, and being able to hear him and support him and just hold him through that is probably the most amazing accomplishment. Like I said, I've had amazing accomplishments with clients and saved multiple lives along the way. And that's where I get to carry my daughter that I lost with me, because she never took a breath on this earth, but she's impacted more lives than most will, because she led me down that path. She gave me that life. She gave me my life back. So I credit all of the success with clients to her leading me into this journey and waking me up. So my accomplishments that are personal is my family. I drop my son off at school every day. I pick him up every day. I don't miss any of his sports. I get involved with the school now a lot more. So those things I would never have done before, because I was a control freak. I didn't believe that anyone knew what I knew, could do what I do, or could run my business. And now I live in a different city and have minimal contact with it, and it runs better than it ever did. Yeah.
Super. Thank you. And what do you think helped you become successful as a coach?
I guess it's that continuous improvement of myself, and continually pushing through and learning more to get further down the path, so that I can take people further down the path. I like to look at it like there's a jungle there, and the further I can carve my way into the jungle, the further into that jungle I can take people with me to get out the other side. So continually pushing myself to get better, to grow more, for the benefit of myself and my family, of course, but also that I can take people further through their journey with it in the time period I'm working with them, get them better results, get them spending more time with their families, which is a big thing for me. Allowing them to be present with their wives or their partners. I have the most amazing relationship, which is I've never had before, and I manifest that through doing this work. You know, I spend a lot of time becoming the person that I wanted to be with. Because until we become the person we want to be with, how can we expect the other person to be that, you know, if we're not that ourselves? So, those are the biggest accomplishments, the biggest work-ons, and the biggest reasons I feel I'm successful, because I have that relationship and that support that's unwavering in all moments. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, and I agree with you. Having the right network is so important.
Yeah.
So what is coming up for you in the near future?
So I've got an amazing workshop coming up next week with Julie Thompson. How we met, we did our NLP training with Julie. So we're teaming up to do an emotional mastery workshop, which is going to be completely free for 3 hours, where we're going to take people deep into some of the things I've been talking about here, and actually taking people through processes on that workshop. So I'm really excited about that one, because I know what's in it, because we spent a couple of hours last night creating it, and the most free value that you're probably going to get in a workshop that I've been on so far anyway. Really excited about that. And then the 2 weeks after, we're doing a free 5-day Ignite Your Mind challenge. So based around entrepreneurship and, you know, or busy professionals that are wanting to grow their career without costing them their families. So we're going to be spending 5 days together. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to share tools and have tasks each day, challenges each day, and we're going to share that in a group. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun too. So I'm really excited about that off the back of this workshop. Yeah.
Thank you. Is there any advice that you would give to someone who's considering mindset coaching?
Do it. If you're thinking about it, you probably need it. I just think don't wait another minute. Like if you think about the amount of time we have on this planet, every day that we don't step into changing our mindset and shifting our belief system is another day less that we're living. So if you want to live the rest of your life, start today. It's a scary step to take, especially if you haven't done that work before. I know back when I started this, I'm in a room of 20 or 30 beautiful women from all around the world, and there's only me and one other guy, and I'm like, wow, am I supposed to be here? It was just such an uncomfortable space for me, and I'm so glad I did and stuck it out. And face that fear and do it anyway. You have two choices at any time, whether you do something or whether you don't do something. And I ask you, if you keep doing what you've done for the last year, for another year, and you're exactly where you are now because you didn't take this advice and start today, how are you going to feel about that? If you're still where you are in a year's time, is that going to feel good to you? And if the answer is yes, that's awesome, because you're in a good place. If the answer is no, reach out to someone today that can help you.
That's good. Thank you. And is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered it all pretty well. But I just want to say another big thank you to you for sharing this space with me. And awesome to see you back in the coaching space doing your thing. Super, super proud of you for, getting back out there, getting back into the work. And I know that you're passionate about it, and you'll have such a great impact on so many people. So it's awesome to see. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here today. And as for everyone, the interview will be on the radio station today at 9 a.m. with the on the interview radio show, and also at 10 a.m. Pacifically for this interview with Tahi. I'm also be on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, and in the email newsletter. We hope everybody has a chance to catch it or listen to it, and we will speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye.